Unedited is live, just about anyway. I realised there was a substantial delay there where I couldn't find any of the buttons. I don't know what happened, but my brain just went, where are the buttons? I don't know where the buttons are. Why don't I know where the buttons are? I have no idea why I don't know where the buttons are. The buttons are exactly the same place that they've always been. And yet somehow...
Wow!
No buttons could be found. That was confusing. Because it was a weird sound effect I wasn't expecting. So I sort of thought I'd randomly clicked one of my own sound effect buttons. And it took my brain a moment to go, I don't have that sound effect. So, well done. You've started strong on confusing me. But welcome, Mr. Blue Boosh. Welcome. Buttons are yesterday's tech. It's all Velcro now. Fair.
Hello there.
General Velcro. Right, so there were... I do like the way he just scampers off. There were things I needed to do, and I don't know. Yeah, again, that's going to be difficult to get that sorted out, which is going to be difficult to get the rest sorted out. 0. Try putting it here, which I don't... I think I'm using these correct, but I cannot guarantee this fact because they don't seem to work as perfect as I was expecting them to. So like there to there should just... I mean, all right, that's an alternate problem. The fact that the conveyor belt is too long, that's a different sort of problem altogether. I don't think I can jump as high as I once could either, which is problematic. As mentioned in the sort of pre-stream, like little sort of advert thing, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I can't afford it. That's the problem on that occasion. Yeah, that makes a degree of sense. As alluded to, I lost all of my stuff, which means I'm kind of running on very limited supplies. I've got a couple of my bits back, but I've lost all the stuff that helped me maneuver around the place. I lost all the stuff that helped me build stuff, and I don't know precisely how the death thing works in this game. I think because I fell down a hole, a very big long hole that was considered a death pit, I think that basically is, no, you're done, son. You're done. You lost all your shit. And it's like, oh, poo. And there's not a lot I can do about the whole having lost all of my stuff thing. So basically I just have to wait for the factory to start refilling all of my stuff. Do I have screws? I've got plenty of screws. Rods into screws. That's not what I intended to click. There we go. So this, where's the rum gone? I don't know. Down the hole, I think, is the problem. Funny enough, I did see, I've mentioned him in the past, Rob Raven, who does a impression of Jack Sparrow on as part of his stream. He did, I caught a short on YouTube earlier as I was just idly scrolling through these things, and he did do one where he just respawned and he was just about to head back to the ship when he just suddenly darted off and went, oh no, this is important. And I must admit that genuinely I thought he'd spotted like a random chest of legends on the side of the map, on the side of the island, but he'd actually spotted a little a box of the rum. This is Sea of Thieves for anybody else slightly confused perhaps. But yeah, it was quite amusing to see sort of like the excitement and focus that he had when it came down to doing this sort of must-have these things. How many of these beacons we got? Oh, I've got way too many beacons now. Oh, actually, no, tell a lie. I need... Oh, okay, no, that's too many beacons now. Yeah, no, that's just too many beacons. That's fine. I do need... I'm not going to be able to afford all of those, so... yeah, I mean, we'll grab some spiked rebar. probably not going to need a huge amount of spike rebar. There's no point in sort of... There we go. I just wanted the 20 to make it nice and even. Factory cart. I don't really need a factory cart at the moment. The Blade Runners are the ones that I really could do with. Oh, that's quick wire. Well, I'm sort of working on quick wire-ish. Working-ish on quick wire. I don't need those petals. Let's sort that out and see what we've got available. Right. Okay, I need my big bludgeoning device back. My nuts will come in handy. Chainsaw will come in handy for some of these purposes. But we will need a little bit of fuel for the chainsaw, so we might as well go over here to what is essentially the fuel department. Not going to get much fuel out of those leaves, but never mind. Yeah, we'll just take a stack of 200 and that'll do. And now, yeah, Xeno Zapper, steel pipe. Steel pipe should be easy enough to get. So this is my factory. It's terrible. It's really bad. It's genuinely slightly embarrassingly bad how this factory looks. I tell you what, I'll give you a quick tour. I'll eat my nuts while I'm having a tour. Eat my nuts while I'm having a tour. There's several different things that are relying on several different power sources because I haven't unified the electricity grid. So you've got a couple of biomass burners here that deal with a load of that mess down there. But then there is a case. Oh no, there's a couple of bio burners here. They're inefficient essentially. They're the first one you get, and they're slightly inefficient. Oh yeah, I did want to do. Now hopefully, let's print my 5 coupons, and hopefully I've got enough for what I wanted. Because what you do is you shove random shit into this machine, and it gives you coupons. Now I must admit, I don't know precisely how it works, but it feels distinctly like it's being less than generous with the points nowadays. So I don't know whether I have to shift up and switch the sort of things I'm pumping into it. At the moment I've got a fairly ready supply of this copper tubing. What is my factory making? I think the greater question is what is my factory not making? Right, let's get the modern railing, pop that in the basket. And then I've got sort of four things left. I could put a road barrier in, I suppose, but I don't really have a desire for a road barrier at the moment. Organisation, labels. Labels could be kind of interesting, but I just feel like it's not hugely necessary. Hazard box, medical box. Could be interesting. Sort of weird angles, great gates. Or gates. Oh, I see, right. You can actually open a gate. I didn't know you could do that, but that's lovely. Conveyor wall mount. Plausibly useful. Floor hole for my hyper tubes. Foundations. No. Vehicles, we've already got that one. I'm mostly fine with what I've got, essentially. Oh, I can now purchase explosives. Interesting. That could help me slightly. I must admit, parachutes might help me, but I've gotten away with not using parachutes so far. So no, we'll let the factory do what the factory does. So we'll just buy the modern handrails. This is concerning. Why? Interesting. Why is there no copper in the copper mine? Because it has no power. Okay, that again is inefficiency on my part, because it should be sort of yeah, I know that conveyor belt. I must admit, so this tree clipping I can solve by chopping down the tree. So now there is, of course, no clipping issue. What, for fuck's sake? He's a little floaty and when jumping. And did anyone else see a fairy? Are you seeing a fairy? Because I'm seeing a fairy. Not sure why I can't. There we go. Maybe because I was in the presence of the fairy. But yeah. This is concerning. I'm now seeing fairies. Right, anyway, so yeah, the tree I've solved. But unfortunately, the bit over here... This bit... Yeah... That bit, the conveyor belt just straight up disappears into the ground. And it's one of those ones where I should probably solve it just to visually... Oh, I see, you're talking about the big... I'm assuming you're talking about one of the big creatures. I must admit. Where... Oh, dear. Autosave, please. You're struggling a little bit more on the autosave this time. I assume you mean this big fella over here was clipping through a factory. But yes, he does that. He does that a lot, in fairness. He does that a lot. Right, anyway, I need to sort out the fuel situation in the right-hand generator. So let's go over here, grab some fuel, poke my fuel in this little machine here. We'll refill this one while I'm here as well. This one usually actually used quite a lot of power. That suggests the copper has been offline for quite some time. Probably while I've been faffing. As I say, I really should sort of connect it all to the main network of power. Because so here, this bit here, this is my sort of now slightly obsolete factory for producing biofuel. So what you get is, what I do is, while I'm wandering around in the wilderness, I collect leaves and wood and stick them in these two storage drums at the bottom there, and then that goes through here, and these three, I think, you can't see it because of the floor, the above floor. See, I'm not calling it a roof, I'm calling it an above floor. But yeah, there's a third one down there, and these turn it into sort of a just a plain old biofuel, I think it is, and then that plain old biofuel gets lifted up here into this constructor, and that constructor turns it into solid biofuel, and then it takes it downstairs into the storage bin there. Now, is that needed? No, not in the slightest bit. It's overly convoluted and a waste of an enormous amount of space. But this was only my second attempt at building a decent looking sort of facility. You see, like this one over here, that one is a fairly decent facility. I'm going to crack my legs there. Oh no, I didn't. I'm surprised. So you've got this facility here is quite surprisingly, I'll tell you what, we can probably use that watchtower over there. I should really take some of these watchtowers down each time I stop using them. And I do sometimes, but other times I just wander off and leave them. What's the bloody ladder? So my latest facility for constructing, you can see there's a bit more logic in there. There's splitter, row of constructors, couple of assemblers, an assembler over there, some storage bins there, and it all is quite nice. All flows quite well. Ignore that conveyor belt there because it's a little bit arse about face. But a lot of it. But this one. Now this one's the beauty. This is the coal power stations. Now granted, the pipe and the conveyor belt are stretching off all across the landscape in a higgledy-piggledy fashion. But when you actually get here, you've got a lovely little facility, 4 perfectly aligned coal generators, one of which is off at the moment. Please don't do that. You did it again, didn't you? Oh, I fell too far. Let's try and figure out what's your problem. Insert fuel. So you're struggling. Oh yeah, you're struggling to get coal, I see. It's because of the way I've done the splits, I think. I suppose, yeah, probably going to have to upgrade to a Mark II, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think what I've essentially got is I've got 4 big coal generators here producing power, and then over on this other side, miles and miles away, you can just about see the towers there. Where the cursor is, just about see the towers. That's another 2 coal facilities, and thus it uses, you know, I've got even more power that side. So I think in terms of it not necessarily being the most efficient, it's fine at the moment. Then this one's the real embarrassing one, because this one's spaghetti conveyors. Mostly because I've tried to basically, I wanted to split off some of the production to bring up here to sell into the awesome machine, whilst also maintaining a couple of, well, a storage bin for bits, and then that's a storage bin for sulfur. And then the sulfur is again a little bit sort of twisty, turny, wiggly, wormy. These are not these are not necessarily the most efficient of conveyor belt systems, but still. Anyway, I do want all of that as well, so that's convenient. I also want any steel beams that I may have ended up with, so I'm going to pop over here. Hoop. But I'm sure there's more efficient ways of doing a lot of these things, and I don't know what they are, therefore I haven't done them. Hally hope, hally hey. Oh, no, oh, almost stuck. It's fine. Here. Do I really need any more of these tubes? Just in case, although, having said that in the past, the just in case method allowed me to lose all of my things. Let's rush over here. So, I think what we need to do... How much... Oops, not the button I was after. How much of this conveyor belt can we build? A fair amount. How much steel plates do we need? A fair amount. Let's go back and get some more steel plates, because I'm sure some more have surfaced by now. A lot of this is very inefficient, and therefore doesn't produce a lot of stuff very quickly. Oh, hello. I didn't realise there was a ladder. That's fine. Grab those. Which is why I frequently have to come back to the bins and collect all of my stuff. It doesn't help the fact that I died earlier on today, in fact. I was playing it for about half an hour during lunch. Or just before lunch, rather, not during. And lo and behold, I managed to fall in a pit and die. So that was not pleasant or fun at all. But now I have to sort of decide precisely what I'm going to do regarding this situation here, because I haven't quite decided how best I'm going to deal with the situation. I mean, I'm probably going to try and run this sort of stacked conveyor belt system, because I think that's going to look tolerable. How much truth there is in that, I do not know, but I think it will look tolerable. Let's get rid of this tree, because although it doesn't physically interfere in terms of the gameplay, but I still don't feel like I want it. Now, see, this is fascinating to me. It says it's clipping other clearance, but I don't know which object's clearance it's clipping. So, there you go. Oops, doodles. I don't know where I am. Oh, I'm on top, which is sort of exactly what we wanted. Anyway, are you... Is that getting closer? Yeah, I think it is. So, what we want to do now is try... I don't know whether I'm going to need to put a curve in there or something. Hopefully we can do that, and then... oh, I am classified as in the way. So I think the crucial detail is it won't have the same turn. Also, we need to be careful which direction we actually get it to do. On. It's very difficult sometimes to assess where it's ending up. I don't know if I'm willing to accept that that will suffice. Which is a standard fare for me, I'm afraid. Will it suffice? If the answer is yes, it won't actually allow me to build it on this occasion. Oh, there we go. Just required a little finagling. So, yeah, they're sort of now parallel and then back on top of one another. That's fine. It is, as they say, good enough. And it's roughly at this location where I have to start making decisions. And part of that decision is where I want to try and create the facility that is going to turn that ore into fancy goods that I can use. So I'm sort of slightly tempted. Got like a sort of area there that I can power because I've got plenty of power cables. So yeah, I'm wondering if there is going to be a reasonable one. Other options would be to expand out front there, in front of these coal generators. Either way, there is going to be a dirty great rock in my life, which is slightly problematic, because I think I can actually build the Nobelisk bombs, but I can't build the detonator, and without a detonator, bombs are useless. Unfortunately. But it does require a certain amount of thinking about what I'm going to do. Now, I realise you may be looking at the factory so far and thinking, sorry, you actually thought about what you were doing when you built that horrendous mess of conveyor belts and nonsense. Yeah, just about. Anyway, just about. But anyway, so I think we're probably going to want to start with some foundations anyway, so let's have a look at my foundations. Yeah, slight problem I think is if I don't build out from the... I'll never be able to get them to line up the way I would like. Now unfortunately it is going to potentially cause me to end up having to sink through the floor a little bit, and I don't know, maybe eventually there's going to be a solution to that, but at the moment I don't know what that solution is. I have discovered the solution to rocks, so there may be eventually a solution to that problem. Now the other solution I suppose is the fact that I could probably go up another step of foundation, which would at least have them look like they're meant to be a foundation rather than anything else. So if I'll do a ramp there. I don't know what's that? Oh, it's classified as clipping in through this watchtower. That's fine. I'm sure we can solve that problem eventually. There we go. Whoops. Don't know if I put... I think I know. Oh no! A fuse is broken. Okay. I think I know roughly where that's going to be. Which is not a huge problem. Especially considering the fact that I don't think that's on the... not on any of the important grids. Eventually I'll probably try and blow that rock up, so that'll be that won't be a problem. Try and get these foundations in as best I can. And I realise I'm sort of technically pushing basically all of nature. I'm just shoving out of the way for my own concretey needs, and I'm mostly okay with this. There we go. So we've got a little facility there. So if what we do next, let's figure out the fuse situation. So let's jump down in stages and go deal with the fuse situation. As I say, I'm fairly confident. I know I can't get on that bloody thing now, can Fairly certain I know which fuse that's going to be, because otherwise the entire system is slightly buggered, in which case, oh, well, sorry, you go about your business, don't mind me. I've also got this little tiny car, so I've got the giant tractor there that's just doing its own thing. It's delivering shit from over there to over here where it's needed. I could have probably used a oh, whoa, wait. Oh, shit. You can access the back of it and pick it up. Okay, sometimes... I will just say, this game has not really taught me anything specifically, like through tutorials or anything. But I have learnt everything I need to learn all the same. So it's quite good in that way. But yeah, I did not know. I thought once I'd deployed this, I thought it was completely stuck, just as this deployed vehicle. But apparently no, if I go to the back of it, in fact, it doesn't do incredibly well on dirt. Oh, okay, that's not the generators I thought it was, because those generators appear to be online. Oh, it. We'll get round there eventually. Oh, it's... Oh, she fell over. Tell you what. Oh no, we've just managed to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick her back up. Pick her up manually. There we go. It's not the one I thought it was, but it is this one. Oh, not the most efficient amount of fuel I've got on my person at the moment, but it'll do to keep it going for a short bit. I'll go and fill up both generators, shall I? Apparently the second one decided to go, so we could probably do with, we'll go with 300's worth of that and then put those spare leaves in. But I am going to have to do a dedicated leaf run, I think, in the not too distant future, or just reconnect everything on the main power network and ditch these biofuel things altogether, which I think would be the more sort of decent idea. There we go. We are back rocking and rolling. Those jennies are now full of fuel. We'll just re-establish these back up to maximum as well, and now what we can do, so we'll swing by, pick up some more of that steel plating, or iron plating rather. Steel plating is something completely different, and we'll pick up some iron rods. Do we really need iron? Yeah, iron rods. You're always needing iron rods and iron plates, so that's not a problem. I'll tell you what we'll also do, let's pop my little car down. There we go. It is very Capsule Corp, if you know what Capsule Corp is. It's from Dragon Ball Z. A lot of their cars and vehicles were sort of based on the idea of being Capsule Corp, I think. And they sort of just appeared from little capsules. Hence why they were called Capsule Corp, I suppose. Now, will this fit underneath? Yeah, it will. Right, we'll get out of there, grab all of those bits, and then we might as well use it again. I think what it's meant to be used for is on a factory floor. So, on a factory floor, it'll do quite well. On dirt floor, it spins out something drastic. Plus, it does look very silly, doesn't it? Just that hunched over in the little tiny car. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is technically quicker than walking. And who am I to critique? Technically quicker than walking. Plus, if you can keep a gentle curve, you don't have to worry about it spinning too much. Of course, if you are forced into a slightly more drastic curve, then it does slightly bugger it up. Woo! Do a little drift. Yeah. There we get out of this car and figure out precisely what we want to do. So let's have a look in our parts section. Ultimately what we're looking to try and do is get Caterium ingots and then basically turn them straight into quick wire, because I think that's the only thing that I need that sort of thing for. At the moment, at least. At the moment. We can construct rebar, so I could build a factory that's dedicated to building rebar for me to use in my gun. Did I actually have the gun? Yes, I did. Okay. We'll pop the gun on my hotbar. And since I've got a little fruit. But I'd collected so much fruit. It's really disappointing that I managed to screw that up and die. But there you go. I'm thinking if I try and sort of do something like there, that will allow me, theoretically at least, to put that there. Which will allow me, so I want to bring that in, I suppose, I don't know, like, I only really need a foundry, which is not too bad, but I'm just wondering if it'd be worthwhile, maybe, I don't think it would be hugely necessary. I'm considering the idea of building a double smelter system, so splitting off the ore and running it through 2 smelters, but it just strikes me as like, yes, that would get me a lot of it, but it just isn't necessarily necessary. But then again, maybe it would be a good idea. I can get that. So roughly there, I think. Is that the right way around? Yes, it is. So, and when I was deliberating and wondering, I've decided that I might as well fuck it and do it. So what we also want is constructors. Is there any reason why I'd want the ore? I don't know, but I feel obliged to leave space to potentially utilise a splitter from the ore manufacturer, just in case. Won't necessarily install the splitter right now, but just in case at some point I feel it would be beneficial, I might leave it sort of available and open. So we'll perhaps put that, I don't know, maybe there. I can always sort of ditch them all quick smart. So this, so you got ore construction into yeah. I'm just contemplating whether this is hugely necessary or not, and the answer is feeling like no. But oh well. We'll want a sort of combiner. We don't want that as an argument that says I'd probably want that out a little bit, sort of there maybe. Must admit, the position of some of these combiners and stuff I do find slightly awkward, because it's like, is that actually going to work out next to it? I think it is. That should be alright-ish. And alright-ish is about the best I can do. Very much a case of, is it alright? Well, it's alright-ish. I think you'll find that will have to suffice. So, don't necessarily want it lined up. Well, I suppose maybe it is lining up properly. But then something like that, and then organisation. Try and make sure I get the right side of the bin. And then that's basically sort of producing a double whammy of all sorts. And that's always what you could do with a double whammy of all sorts. I really must learn not to just throw myself at the floor hoping for the best. Because at the moment, without my special trousers... Ooh, my special trousers! The best never actually happens. Get ourselves a cheeky little ramp there as well. Excellent. I mean, alright, excellent might be a little bit generous. But, you know, as is so often the way, it's more... It's less excellent and more sufficient. It's satisfactory. Basically the name of the game. That there. Might not be the best of placements. Yeah, I kind of want it. Yeah, that should be enough if need be. And then we'll just probably just try and connect that immediately. Oh, is that going? I don't know what that's doing. This is why watchtowers can be quite useful sometimes. But what? Is it just because it's coming down? Yeah, I think it's just because it's still considered to be sort of intersecting there. Although I think, to a certain extent, yeah, I think this whole sort of stand mechanism I'm doing wrong. Now, it appears to be working, which is very much one of those ones where it'll do, as is often my way. If it works, it will suffice. But it is sort of, so we want Caterium ingots there, Caterium ingots there, pump that into that, pump you into that, and now this constructor I would like you to be producing quick wire, and this constructor I'd like you to be producing quick wire, and then that there, that there, put that there, and finally put that there. Now let's once again start trimming trees. Trim the leaves first, and hopefully you just have to wait until the tree goes white, and then you've got the tree. And technically, I don't know whether you're still present or not, but you did technically ask what the factory produces. Basically anything I need, which is all of these many things. Iron ingots at the smelters, iron plates from the iron ingots, iron rods from the iron ingots, copper ingots for the raw copper, wire from the copper, then cables from the wire, then concrete from limestone, then screws from rods, then iron plates being assembled with screws and plates, biomass, Caterium ingots is what we've just started, solid biofuel, copper sheets, sheets of good old-fashioned copper, rotors, they spin you right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, 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 modular frames, smart plating, these are the ones that were going to the space elevator. We've got fabrics, we've got colour cartridges. I must admit, I don't produce colour cartridges, that's just an option. Silica, that's where I'm trying to find raw quartz at some point. That's another thing on the agenda. Quick wires, steel beams, steel pipes, versatile frameworks, encased industrial beams, that's one of my newest projects. It's not very efficient. I'm sure you didn't see that statement coming. The stators. I do have an assembler creating stators in order to create, I believe, automated wiring. So, yeah, a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything in your life. A little bit of... a little bit of... a little bit of... Ooh. I've taken to doing light pole... power poles, even. Like this. I don't know why. It just sort of... It makes for a fairly pretty little pattern of power poles. And you need a reasonable amount of power poles, because every power pole can have up to 4 wires running off of it. Which sounds like it would be enough, but obviously with a lot of machines, and the fact that you have to sort of try and make sure you've kept some of the wires off of there. Now, I must admit, what I might do, and this is going to cause problems in the short term, just take that wire off of there, and then we'll run another wire just off of that corner there. And we'll possibly just try and run it straight to this corner here. Yeah, I mean, certainly that looks tolerable. And then that reconnects that one nicely. Must admit, what I might do is pop one in the middle there. Be able to see the thing. Then we can reattach that, and we'll probably use these for the 2 foundries. Excellent. So methinks Catorium ingots have begun commencement. Excellent. And now from Catorium ingots, if I could get out of the way of my own construction arm. Quick wire. Excellent. That's what we wanted to see. So very many quick wires for me. And one thing I don't necessarily do a lot of, what you can do is, because these storage son of a bitch. Okay. That's not great news, because that is the main power grid that's just gone offline, which is alarming. Yeah, I'm assuming, yeah, that's spiked in such a way that it is no longer able to power the main grid. Okay, well, I suppose I always had intended to fix that problem, just not right now. So I suppose let's try and go off and fix this problem, whilst also gathering food supplies. No, not knowing in the poison. I'm not sure how I deal with the poison mist yet. I don't know whether there's going to be a way of dispensing of the poison mist, or just embracing the poison mist. But either way, I will need to sort that out. So yeah, this entire area here is now unpowered, which is inconvenient. But I think we should be able to sort that out fairly easily by just getting it all back onto the main grid. Or putting it onto a main grid, I suppose, arguably. Not necessarily getting it onto it. So, easiest and best way of getting a wire from here to over there. Now, I can't deny, I'm very much a simple person. When I'm sort of thinking to myself, how do I get a wire from there to over here, I'm 9 times out of 10 going to take the simplest of paths, which is probably that. Which I don't know if that's going to be enough to... Apparently not so much. Oh, but the fuses are off, so... I think we've got life in the old bastard yet. So let's just have a look at our numbers at the moment. So... our max... yeah, so our production is 450, is that correct? And our current consumption is only 220 odd. So that should... I think that should mean that I've got a lot of leeway for any further machines. I do believe that's not quite everything, because there's still a couple of separated areas over here that are running on my first ever main power grids, but Eventually we'll try and get them all on the same system, and maybe even we'll either expand the power station down there or expand the power station over there if truly needed. But hopefully it will not be truly needed. Oh, that wire goes through a wall. That's not. That's something I've only just noticed. I don't know if I care. Certainly, I don't know if I care enough to actually change it. Because the wires in this area are horrendous in the first place. And therefore I don't know if I care enough to change them all up. Maybe, as I say, eventually, if I get to the stage where I do try and sort of revolutionise the entire factory, at that point I might go, yes, actually I do give a damn. But until then, we're just going to leave it as is. Good amount of stuff there. Do we need any more wire? Yeah, we seem to have shot through our wire supplies. Something drastic. We've got plenty of cable. Anything else that stands out as something I need to have my hands on? Oh, probably the general supplies from over here. Whoop. Plus I might do a quick run at trying to get those steel plates as well. Let's have a look, because I keep meaning... Oh, that's why I was doing encased concrete, that's right. I've got plenty of concrete for actual... Oh, no, it's the actual hypertubes I need to care about. Oh, also, yeah, I've got plenty of that copper though, so that shouldn't be a huge problem. So let's just do a general run of bits, and then maybe we'll try and... I don't know, figure out one of the tubes, a hypertube. Although the sheer mess of this area is like, oh, are you sure you can figure out hypertubes? I mean, I can have a go figuring out hypertubes. I make no promises I can actually get them to work in any fashion. Right. I also need to figure out where my sort of key hubs are for use with hypertubes. Arguably, I think one of the main things is my workbenches and stuff up there, but they are just encased. The main hub is just encased in factory stuff, which might make getting a hypertube system fitted very awkward. But we'll have a go, we'll have a look. I've seen much better organisation in this game, but it's one of those ones where they basically start you with nothing and go, yeah, do. And so you have to kind of just get on with it and have a go. So if we build a Xeno Zapper... Oh, I still haven't got the quick wire, unfortunately. We can build another... Oh, no, we've only got the none of them at the moment, so I have to have all 5 of these. How many of these have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1 more. Is that going to be enough for a detonator? No. What do I need for a detonator? Oh, I need encased industrial beams. Well, I suppose I had to go and get some anyway, so I guess I might as well go down. Right, this, I can't remember. This should be... yes, this is copper tube. So we'll take a couple of copper tubes. And now we shall... Oh, wow, I've got a lot of stators. I suppose it's because for some reason... Cable. Yeah, why is the cable so slow? I suppose in fairness, the cable was offline for a prolonged period of time, wasn't it? Oh, who said that? No, the cable just seems quite slow. Yeah, alright, maybe the cable is just quite slow. I suppose 1 smelter is not quite enough. I should have perhaps considered the idea of doing 2 smelters here. When 2 smelters go to war. Yeah, I do get the impression 2 smelters going at the ore is perhaps better. There are a lot of numbers, and I think if you studied those numbers, you'd make a better factory. I, however, refuse to study numbers. Therefore, I'm not going to learn things like that. What are these? These are... Oh, they're automated wiring, which I must admit, I've put them in a container. I don't think I need them in a container. Which is... yeah, I think we'll cut that and stop wasting precious automated wiring. I wonder, can I actually put them in manually? I do not know, but I think I'm about to find out. Because yeah, the automated wiring is literally only a space project. There's nothing else I can do with it, as far as I'm aware. And I can always add that conveyor belt back in if need be. But yeah. And yes, I can put them in manually. Excellent. Genuinely didn't know that. But this is the space elevator, for anybody wondering. It is fucking enormous. It's truly wonderful. And it's one of the first projects where, if you were looking very carefully when I was constructing things earlier on, you'll notice that all the construction materials fly out of you as you construct things. It's quite amusing. But the space elevator was the first one where I really noticed it, because it's so huge. You were flinging like copper pipe and stuff for miles and miles, and it was rather entertaining. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm led to believe is the ultimate goal in this game, is to throw things up into space via the space elevator. At the moment, we're trying to get 500 plates of special metal, 500 of the frames, and 100 of those automated wires. Now, the framework seems to be very, very slow. Which is odd, because the framework should actually be one of the quicker. It should certainly be quicker than the wiring. But, there you go. I suppose apparently there's... Oh, I suppose... Yeah, it's because the car... Yeah. The car has to bring in the 12 steel beams. So, yeah, the steel beams are very, very slow here. There you go. The car has managed to bring in 3 steel beams, which is less than optimal. I must admit, if it had 9, I would have just pilfered them and finished off my milestone, but there you go. Right, so we want quick wire. So let's go see how much quick wire we've got. I feel like we're going to fill that sort of bucket up very, very quickly. At some point I do have, I think it might, yeah, Logistics Mark III might be where I get the improved buckets that will carry a lot more stuff, but it is still sort of, at the moment, slightly alarming to have, if I have whisked through. It mean, although, oddly enough, it's another one of those ones where it's, oh shit, oh no, it is going in. Oh, it's just the converger is actually slowing things down. Wow. Did not think that was going to be a thing, but there you go. So, I mean, it makes sense, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting it's wrong. It's just one of those ones where, as is so often my way, I try and factor in every single element, and yet there's always something where it's like, nope, I did not think of that. And that being the slowdown area is definitely one of the ones that I didn't think of. Let's use my little car. I will hoist the little monocar. That's only a really useful reference to anybody who's watched every single episode of this Hodgepodge. So I apologise, you're probably slightly confused. What are you talking about? Hoist the little monocar? No idea what you're talking about. It was a reference to one of the lines that I misheard in Ghost of Tsushima. Please, please, little car. Please, little car. Oh, sick air, bro. Please, little monocar. Now it's officially going to be called the little monocar. Whoa! I did a flip. Let's get out of the little monocar. What was I even trying to do? I don't know. Oh, because I've now got the quick wire, I should be able to build up my explosives again. That's what I want. See, this is, you can see where it's inefficient, being the fact that you've got long streams of stuck conveyor belts. I don't know precisely how to solve the problem, so... Alright, let's get myself another detonator. Ideally, I suppose, what I need to try and do is get myself Ah, zipline. Yes, please. That is a very key piece of equipment. God, I will be really quite miffed if I end up killing myself again. It is, the fact that I managed to throw myself in a pit of death is just like, oh. And the worst part, of course, is it's one of those age-old ones where it's like, I think I'm doing quite well. Oh, I've thrown myself in a hole. I should never have thought the idea that I might have been doing reasonably well. The game was very much like, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you think you've actually started doing tolerably at this game? You are not allowed to think such spurious lies. Right. So, this next plan... Shall we take the little car again? Whee! Here we go! Up! Caught some sick air, but turned her around. Whee! There we go. In a straight line, with no obstacles, you can get a nice lick of speed out of this bad boy. Woo! It's just unfortunate it has got a habit of spinning out of control. Now you may think to yourself, surely this is a terrible idea. This is a terrible idea. You're going to blow up all of your floor and everything else. Well, luckily, anything that I've constructed is not included when it comes to... Oh. Apparently that rock is not included either. Is this one of those things where sort of... Whoops. I'm so glad you're not allowed to do that. Because that's the detonate button. And if I did detonate it, obviously it would just clip off me. But I'm just going to try the idea of multiple. Although that one apparently went inside. But I've got a nasty feeling that rock, that very large, very annoying rock, is here to stay. Which is really frustrating because I really thought the explosives were the key to actually dealing with rocks. In a general sense. They've certainly been, you know, suitable for clearing rocks in a... in the past, but clearly not a rock of that size. Now maybe, somewhere along the line, I'm going to find myself getting a much larger array of explosives, but I cannot guarantee this. I'll have to pop back and look at my mammy. My wee mammy. Oh, that's one of my mining facilities over there. Blimey. Just curious what this is. I think it's copper. Ow! Oh, that's dangerous territory. I think we need to eat my berries. Is this copper? Yeah, I thought it was copper. It had that sort of slight coppery sheen to it. It made me think, oh yes, that's copper. He just came at me and went, hello, 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 what have we here? And I thought to myself, yeah, no, that's copper. Alright. We're probably not actually going to need the zip line, which makes me inclined to maybe leave the zip line behind, perhaps. I was going to look at doing hypertubes, wasn't I? But I think I might go back to the idea of possibly looking into having a trip and see what we'll do. Because I think I can. Yeah, I can just pop a little personal storage box on the side here. And the only problem, of course, is remembering that I've decided to pop the little storage box on the side here. So, well, we don't really need my tickets. That's not a problem. We don't really need those. Explosives, yeah, I'll keep the explosives. Don't need the zip line where I'm going. I'll keep the portable miners because I'm not that fussed about losing them. chainsaw I kind of don't want to lose if I do die, but I suppose the argument is don't die. Right. Raw quartz, that's sort of what we're after. Now we could be stood here for a while waiting for a ping of raw quartz to come up. I did say we could be stood here for a while. Okay. There is raw quartz over yonder. Or over there. Both of them are miles away though. Well, meters technically, I suppose. 1,700, 1,600. So technically that's the closer of the two. But I do wonder. Big beast! It's fine, I wouldn't say he was friendly. He's probably slightly miffed that there's a dirty grey factory where he used to just wander around. Oh, how fascinating. I could have sworn I dispensed of both of those. I definitely dispensed of one of those biofuel things. Now I'm suddenly realising I might want the zipline. But no, once I'm past the wires, the zipline's not going to do me any use. For anybody wondering what the zipline does, it allows you to zipline across power lines. It's a very cool device. Slightly awkward to use, I find, but a very cool device nonetheless. It's one of those very interesting ideas, a very sort of unique and lovely little idea to double use the wires, and gives you something extra to think about when you are in fact constructing your wire network. Not that I have given it much thought, but it's just the way I do things. I just do. I don't think I do. I tell you what, let's try. Oh dear, he's slightly. Oh, okay. I think putting a bit of rebar in his brain made him have the wibbles. Yeah, alright, buddy. There you go. There you go. Is there another one lurking around here somewhere? I mean, no, there technically isn't, but... This is the first time I've tested the rebar gun. I must admit, results are disappointing. Well, I haven't said that. I think it clipped him a little bit quicker than the bludgeoning device usually would. But yeah, I'm so frustrating. I had a load of health supplies for starters, mixed with the fact that I had a load of other bits and bobs on my person. I had a lot of nuts and a lot of berries, and now I've lost them all. I've lost all my nuts and I've lost all my berries. I could use an item scanner and really dedicate myself to going off and finding them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hope that I stumble upon them. What are you? Oh, you're these guys again. Ow. I must admit, there's a part of me thinking, you know what, it's not... Not that much of an improvement, truth be told. The old bludgeoning device might just be the simpler option, but we'll keep it in mind. Anyway, that was copper ore, wasn't it? So it's not of any real significance to me. Let's get the big berries. Basically, I think these sort of funky little berries, they dish out a whole segment of health, whereas the nuts, they only dish out one segment of health. Now there is one third option, which is a bacon mushroom. It's genuinely, I mean, they call it bacon agaric, which is basically a bacon mushroom, I think. I think it's only considered to look like bacon, I think is the idea. I don't necessarily know what it tastes like. Oh, more berries, that's good. something funky. I'll tell you what. Do I have my chainsaw equipped? No, I don't. Instead of the detonators. So this is mushrooms, mycelia, and you can use that as fuel, and you can use it in medical supplies as well, I think, which is why it's not going to be a terrible thing. Harvesting a bunch of this mycelia stuff. I've got a nasty feeling there's probably going to be spiders in here. Yeah, no, there's spiders in here. Or, I mean, they are sort of bug-esque. They are rather speedy. And unfortunately, I don't seem to be clipping them as much as I have in the past. What I've found in the past is it's usually best to sort of get a distance away from them and do exactly that. And the fact that that wasn't seemingly working previously is a little bit frustrating, but no. The solution to all of life's problems: shove nuts in your face. And maybe some berries as well. Unfortunately, I'm now out of food again, which is not great news. I must admit, I don't think the chainsaw is ever going to do anything. Are these tougher bugs? They are so skittery. You can pick up organs and carapaces from the aliens, and that will allow you to sort of, again, it builds healing supplies. You can knock it down as biofuel. You have a couple of different... Ah, you bastard. Feeling very vulnerable again. It's been a while since I've felt quite so vulnerable, because I've had lots of healing supplies, lots of fancy bits and pieces upon my person. But now, of course, I'm feeling very, very vulnerable once again. And I don't even know. I've got a nasty feeling this might be... Oh, no, okay. Yeah, okay. No, I don't think I'm supposed to be in this cave if I want my quartz. I do rather want my quartz. Now, whether I have to build a wall of... a wall in order to be able to get up to my quartz, I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know what to expect. Did we have any extra cheeky fruit? Oh, I don't know where we got it from, but we have got a bacon alaric. Or is it alaric or agaric? I thought it was a G. Yeah, agaric. I don't know exactly where the word agaric comes from, but I'm fairly certain it's something to do with mushrooms. And you can see it's a mushroom that looks like bacon, hence why it's a bacon agaric. Anyway, shove that in your fucking gob, mate. And hope for the best. Oh, what is this? What is this? Sulphur? No, we don't really need sulphur anymore. Ah, there's another bacon organic. Excellent. I wouldn't mind keeping those because they are fairly rare. That would be nice to actually sort of manage to catch a supply of them. That's one thing. I don't know whether they're ever planned, because this is early access technically. Still, yeah, it's still considered early access. So they are still developing bits and bobs as we go. So it'd be quite interesting to see if I'm sort of playing it long enough for some major change to suddenly crop up. Although I do mostly suspect it's going to be primarily sort of little adjustments and extra bits and pieces. There's a couple of sort of... You can pick up a bunch of items that are classified as work in progress items, which was quite interesting to behold. Don't know where they're sort of going to end up going, but I'm assuming you're going to be able to research them and build more parts and stuff. I want that berry. There we go. A big creature? No. Where's this bloody quartz? Okay, oh, interesting. 477 that one. I feel like I'm in bug territory again. I'm not in bug territory, but I am in sort of enemy territory. Now, I don't know. Do I feel like it's going round, or do I want to go from here? Off. Oh, this is a Sam ore. This is another work in progress item. I'll pick it up because, well, assuming once it's worked, it will be, or once it's progressed, it will work. So So I might as well have as much as I can lay my hands on, because then I'll be ready for whatever it builds when it's introduced. A cave? No. Oh, but that is a bug. Berry. We don't want bugs in our life. Oh, that's another berry. Excellent. There's another berry over here. It's been a while since I've actually had to worry too much about the idea of, oh, berry, berry, berry. There's a berry, here's a berry, there's a berry, where's a berry, there's a berry, here's a berry, where's a berry there. Oh, an incredibly good texture. Oh, I'll try and go past them. They don't often sort of latch on for too long. Oh, there is another sandmore there, so let's just hope they're not latching on too much, because then don't. I mean, whack it, but not whack it with your random implement. You want to whack it and you whack it properly. Whack it real good and properly. Whack it like it's going out of fashion. Do 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 do. Still just trying to find my quartz. Have I been down that path? No, I assume the answer is no. It's because there appears to be a sort of... oh, shit, okay. Now, okay, this is interesting. Oh, okay, that did not improve the situation. Damn it. I promise. I have done the combat system better than this previously. There we go. Yeah, it's interesting. It really... it's not made as much difference shooting it from a distance as I perhaps would have liked it to have made. Because see, it's still 3 of them. They still pop out. I suppose these are slightly more aggressive. But outside of that, it's like, yeah, that's not done anything. You get carapace for this. And the other thing we want is these nuts. And a yellow power slug. Look, can I scan it? No? Okay. I don't know. I unlocked some kind of technology for... whoopsie doodles. There we go. Oh, I suppose it's on the actual object scanner. You can scan for... okay. I was being slow. It's not a problem. Well, sometimes it's a problem. Bing. I should be heading in the right direction for the quartz. Yes, okay, here we go. 220 odd doings. You just go through leaves and you push the E button. Push the E key and away you go. I think that's going to be limestone, yeah. It's pure limestone, but I don't know precisely. In terms of manufacturing, the purity of it doesn't make that much difference, I don't think. Now that's annoying. Can't really afford to go through that poison cloud. Oh wow. I've sort of found their watering hole. And I've also found nuts in a wall. Nuts, nuts in a wall. Nuts in a wall, my friend. I've got nuts in a wall, my friend. I don't know if I'd have a thing. Do 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 do. Anyway, I was just reading messages and looking at the lovely creatures. I didn't want to go too far there, but yeah, that would be a hell of a water supply if I wanted it, but I don't. Oh shit, am I going to have to go for poison there? What's this? Oh, that's just limestone again. No, I think we can make it up here. Oh dear, there we go. Now, I wonder... no. Okay, I wonder the second. There is always a second wonder. That might not be close enough. Viable that it wasn't close enough, therefore... don't die. No, I did nothing. Okay, that's fine. Let's chow down on some berries and hope for the best. I do feel like I do want to get quartz started, which makes me feel like I need to just bypass this. So what I think I'm going to end up having to do is basically sort of... well, I mean, probably there will suffice. If I build something like that. And then we build ourselves... technically I only really needed the one wall, I think. But nobody ever accused me of being the most efficient individual in the world. Therefore, if I've overbuilt, I've overbuilt. And that's the ticket. Now, well, there was a reason why I wanted to unlock those handrails as well. I should probably have gone and done that, but never mind. Architecture, I think it is. Yes, it's a ladder. Excellent. See, this, do you know what? This is the lovely thing about this game. Obviously, I had a problem there, and I've basically now just built my way out of said problem. And that does legitimately please me that is a thing that I can do. I can just sort of, assuming I have the resources, of course, the fact that I am capable of just building my way out of the... it's just another problem. I think, is that, whereabouts is this poison field? Basically there. Where is this goddamn quartz? Okay, there's a... oh, there's the quartz, okay. Did I even need to build myself up the problem? Yes, okay. Thank fuck for that, I did. Oh, that's one of the big, nasty ones. Oh, that's going to be potentially troublesome. Ugh. I've never really taken on one of those things, so I may have to retreat long before we actually do anything to kill it. Oh, that's not helpful. Because yeah, it's got some kind of crazy big fireball thing, which is... just curious what that is. Caterium? Caterium, yeah. I don't think I got the nuts for this fight. Oh, no! I got the nuts for this fight. Yeah, baby! I got the nuts. Do you have the nuts? Oh, I got the nuts. If you've got the nuts to face me, then you've got the nuts to grace me with your presence. Enjoy my presence. Awesome. Collect a blue power slug. You turn them into some kind of charging device. Ah, Nashers. Is this a little one? Yeah, I think that's just a little one. Still slightly annoying that there's two of them here. But, you know, give them a good old-fashioned high school beatdown. I don't think that's the thing, is it? Yeah, it is now. Oh, that's one of the little ones. I want to pet you! Hey, lizard doggo! Hey, lizard doggo! Oh, you my friend now? Oh, lizard doggo! Whoops, I almost caved your head in. But it's not my fault you're on the bloody quartz. I did kill one of those previously, but let's be honest, I've been attacked by almost everything else in this game. Of course I'm going to attack back. Right, so... Now, the one slight issue we've got... Now, I think that issue should be solvable, because I believe... Well, I haven't said that from this distance. I don't think I can. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so... The benefit of having most of my factory located next to my space laser, my space elevator even, oh dear, I think we have to go round no matter what there, although I suppose technically, if only I had a parachute. But I don't have a parachute, so I guess balls. But yeah, I think we might have to go round, which is less than efficient, but oh well. Let's go. Let's go ahead and... Well, for now, we'll just sort of put that there. And put that there. That'll do. Right, at this point, I want to sort of... Now... I do wonder what the most efficient way of doing this is going to be, because arguably two conveyor belts is going to be the most efficient way of doing this. But I don't know how you process quartz, truth be told. Quartz crystal, just in a constructor. Okay, silica is after the crystal form. No, that is from the raw stuff as well. Okay, so I suppose what we could do, but that's gonna could work. If I actually build the constructors here and just have a sort of storage bin of quartz-based products. I don't know if that's going to work out as well as I would like it to work out, or whether it's going to be a daft idea. Especially because then, if I need to change anything up, I'd have to come all the way out here. So I think, no, I think it would be better. I mean, I'll probably still have to come all the way out here, I suppose, but yeah, I think maybe a converge. We'll have the convergence unit, and that'll have to suffice essentially. But I'm probably going to run out of resources, so bound to end up having to pop out here and start things fresh again. Anyway, if we pop you there, and yeah, you can go straight in there. That will allow me to bring out this. Which will allow me to build that. And then basically now we just sort of meander it along and back to base camp. And here what we want to do ideally is we'll bring sort of a central power cable there. And oh, careful, because if I go over the edge I might die. Put that in the corner as I like to do, and then I might get rid of that tree because it makes no sense to have that tree there whilst the power cable is in the way. Right, it makes no sense to have these trees here either, but that's why I got rid of them. Plus it gets you leaves and wood and stuff, so it's not necessarily a bad thing to know. Got a couple of explosives left, so what we'll do... I suppose actually I don't need the gun at the moment, do I? Put that hopefully in the middle. See, this is why I thought the big rock was going to be able to be taken down by explosives. Because you'll note, those two little rocks are very much taken down by explosives in a most satisfactory way. I'm not going to lie, I hadn't intended to make the pun there. So we can sort of really want it have it as tall as possible there, just to deal with that, and that. Yeah, that'll do nicely. And then you sometimes have to be careful with these ladders, because otherwise you don't get on the ladder and you fall to your death again. There's so many opportunities to fall, you know, so many opportunities to fall to your death, and many opportunities for things to kill you. Hence why I was slightly alarmed when that one was sort of kicking off. Now, as is so often the way, the issue with, of course, not having a plan here is the whole not having a plan part. It's quite plausible that I'm going to go the least efficient route possible to try and get home. But I'm sort of just... I'm stuck with the only real method I've got is hoping for the best. Oh, no. I'm in menus I don't want to be in. And spidery things I don't want to fight. Because that's a big spider. Or big bug thing. That is possibly going to kill me. I mean, I think at the end of the day I'm going to have to kill it. I'm going to have to try and fight it. And hope for the best. He's disappeared. Okay. Sir? 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 Okay. Take the win. He disappeared. And sometimes that's the best result you can hope for. When the big nasty thing that's probably going to kill you just goes, I can't be bothered anymore. That is basically my method for all things. All of my interactions, I think, very much sort of go, okay. I will bore you until you submit. And just go, I can't be bothered anymore, I'm leaving. Just have a... I think there's things trying to kill me. Oh, I mean, that is my space laser. We may just have to... Yeah. Is that a thing? No, just a wall. What we might do... It's using more resources, unfortunately, but to make it a little safer, perhaps, to traverse, it may be beneficial to build out some kind of decent pathway. Obviously we want to eventually go down, but we'll go out there first. And then making it sort of too astride is not my best use of materials, but yeah, there's a nasty feeling there, but luckily you don't lose anything.
Proceed with harvest before it's too late.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Creepy voice. It's just a general thing. Pick up the leaves, pick up the thing. There we go. The creepy voice, I believe. Oh god, no, it's another. Oh god, oh, that's a special case. I don't like it. I ain't got the nuts for this situation. Should we just build the next section of my walkway? Oh, nuts. I've run out of fucking cash. Run out of iron plates. Which is going to make my life very difficult. I don't like it. I don't like the noises. Yeah. You know this direct path idea I had? I don't like it anymore.
Harvest. It.
Stop chatting and hollering at me. I don't even know where it's gone. Did I build a bridge over it? I did see it earlier, but there was a strange alien artifact. But now I seem to have lost the strange alien artifact, and I don't really want to fall to my death because I don't have parachutes on me. And there's a nasty creature over there. I'm kind of now slightly stymied because.
Relaying message. Hello, this is Paternal Figure. I have taken ill and need your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
Oh, it was in the tree. There we go. The Soma Sloop. I'm assuming that's possibly a placeholder. But yeah, they are strange alien artifacts that have the woman talk to you and make you go, "Oh, I don't like it," because she speaks all creepy. I suppose I'm going to have to. Potentially going to have to deal with the nasty creature. Well, the nasty creature may have despawned again. I think maybe we've found these creatures' primary weakness. I bore them to death. Ew. Oh, that's a. Oh no, he's still lurking there. He's still lurking there. That is a lot more of a sheer drop than I was hoping for. Oh no, that's death. That's death. I fucked it. Oh fuck! I actually survived. Okay. Do you want to just chow down on a couple of nuts? But yeah, I don't know how I. Ugh. Well, this is a situation. Oh, I've run out of bloody metal. And I think everything's bloody metal, isn't it? Yeah. Well, isn't this a nuisance? I think I'm going to end up just committing suicide here, aren't I? Which is quite frustrating. Because there's no... Oh, I suppose there might be... No, I haven't got any fabric. I don't think there's any solution out of this one. I think it's going to be death. That's very frustrating. I suppose I could try and find a route round here, but I just don't have... I suppose I've got the bacon. Yeah, this is where I really wish I had parachutes on. Unfortunately, I do not currently have parachutes available to me. I think I've made the situation worse. Well, that's a slightly lesser fall. Okay. The bionic legs that I've got on, the slice leg slicers or whatever they're called, they do technically help with fall damage. Now somehow, some way, I've lost sight of my bloody fucking giant space elevator. So that's a thing. Is that my space elevator all the way over there? Good Christ. Well, I think we've sort of made we've sort of gotten ourselves out of the predicament, but we have built ourselves into a corner that might prove troublesome to get out of. But I suppose we did technically find a little bit of quartz. This was copper, wasn't it? Yeah. But, yeah. Awkward situation all round. What I'm going to try and do is just get back to a neutral ground home base. Get back to home base, and then I'll put it away for a bit and try and essentially figure out how the fuck I get through this situation. There's a part of me like, okay, so let's what's quite nice with these beacon things, you pop them in and then you can basically enter any name. So look, I suppose I don't know what that is, but east. This is where you can put literally whatever you want. Look, east-ish, sheer cliff, work out the solution. We'll make it black to stand out slightly, but yeah. But yeah, essentially I think my building is capping off up there. Now, with enough resources, I could probably build ladders, then sort of hoof it, ladder around. But, well, that's pure water. I don't really need any more water. I've got several sort of water extractors in a pond a little ways away. But this feels like it can be done. It's gonna take a lot of resources. Which, in fairness, the fact that I've been away from home base for an extended period would suggest, to some extent, that I've possibly got a lot of my resources. But luckily, what's quite nice there is finding that, yes, there are all my there are some nuts. But that's the other issue I've got, is the fact that I have very limited resources when it comes to food supplies and health bits. Relying on the idea of scavenging as and when is not great, but I suppose it's technically my own fault for dying. It turned out that dying was a bad thing. Who knew? I know, crazy, right? Right, we don't really need sulfur. You know, I mean, in fairness, I've got a load of sulfur in this container. I don't need it in there. I just didn't know what to do with it, so I built a container and thought, yeah, there's something. But then I split it off and dealt with that. And I'll tell you what, as a final act, I don't really need any of those tubes, do I? I'll take the 60. That'll do nicely. Actually, the tractor wasn't here, I could have hopped on. Can I actually just hop on the ladder? Because I think it's got a ladder on the side, doesn't it? Oh no, I think maybe it is literally... Or unless maybe I can just have a cheeky... No. Maybe if we go around the side. Yeah. I hope. Oh! Well... That was a predicament that I didn't realise was going to happen. But yes, I think yes is the answer. We don't actually want to go anywhere, I'm just testing it out. So if I was very good, I could possibly jump onto... how much cable do we have? Not enough for the project that I'm trying to do. All of the stuff. Copper wire, we've actually got a fair amount of copper wire. What's this one? Concrete. We've got a stack of 500. 500 concrete should be enough. Right, let's pop leaves in there. Summer slope in there. I'll deal with the leaves situation here. As seen, on that little jaunt, I got a fair amount of leaves, which will allow these to create... oh, that's wood, isn't it? Yeah. I always get slightly confused between the solid biofuel and wood. I know that sounds daft, but the icons are just that little bit similar, and my eyes sometimes go, yeah, no, that's close enough. I think that's the same thing, isn't it? Just going to do a generator run. Make sure next time I'm there. That basically run out, so never mind. Right. I think what we'll do is we'll do this, and then I'll launch. Poof! And if I can get out quickly enough, the little hub thing takes all of the lovely goods and goes whoosh, goodbye. It's a really nice looking little design machine now. It does look like it almost, no, I think it just skirts around. Looks like it almost clipped the space elevator, but no, it's all good. Anyway, now I've done that, and now I'm back at home base. I think what we'll do is just go back to the main supply bin that I ditched all my random stuff in, and go from there. Save it up, and then, as I say, my main concern will be figuring out precisely how I build up to that quartz stuff. I must admit, I don't really need the tickets nor the leaves, but I'll leave them there for now. That can be the fuck it, I don't care anymore bucket, which is a good bucket to have sometimes. Good bucket to have. What I was going to do is just quickly show you. So you prepare it, and then you go flip, whee. It's quite fun, but I must admit, transferring tends to be slightly awkward. I still haven't quite decided, because when I hit a pole, you just bounce off. So if you do want to continue your path, you do have to sort of, you can sort of do a tactical bounce off and then try and grab on, but you can see it's awkward. Whereas the best method, I think, as far as I've found so far, is the tactical jump off and go, which unfortunately on that occasion it didn't work. If it's too steep a jump, it doesn't quite work out the way you want it to, but yeah, there you go. Sometimes too steep a jump, it doesn't work out. But yeah, it's still a very fun tool, because you are still sort of just jumping around, going whee on a zipline. And let's be honest, going whee on a zipline is very unpleasant for the people below you. But there you go. Anyway, I don't know, I didn't really plan ahead that much, so I don't know specifically what we'll do. Just have a look at what's available, I suppose. I could do that. Yeah, do you know what? We'll do that. See what happens in that one. I mean, it's basically more building. Apparently, I never really realised this, but an awfully large volume of the games I play are just sort of building things. There we go, that'll do. Doot 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 and doot. Doot 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 doot. Should come up, there you go. And the fact that it says Titan Forge Miniatures probably reveals, even before the actual thing updates, it should reveal what it is. It's Model Builder, where we were building that dragon. Hopefully we'll finish that dragon, and then I think that's where the demo cut out. And therefore, what we should hopefully find is we'll get something brand new. And that should be quite fun, because it'll be sort of never before seen. I really hope that's not quite as dramatically far back as it looked. No, okay, thank fuck. Thank fuck for that. Thank fuck for that indeed. Open next unfinished page, that's quite helpful. Okay, so we want to take this bit, but we want to go on the paint desk, please. Where's my paint desk? there it is. Pop the little man's head on there, and yes, we wanna slap on the gold, slap on the red, slap on the green, a couple of bits of green, and then we want... no, as far as I can tell, that's all of the... I mean, it evidently isn't, but... Is it the inside of the ears? Yes, I think it is the inside of the ears. Okay, that's fine. That's now the red's done. The green appears to be registering as done. But the gold, not so much. Oh, because the nostrils are all separate pieces. And I don't think it registers anything to do with the tongue and teeth, so I'm assuming they're perhaps next on the list of doings. Teethy pegs. And just... is it the entirety of the inside? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh no, we don't want to do anything like that. I don't know if we ever actually did the dragon's head or not, but what we want to do is just, yeah, if we do the sort of twirling, it's a little bit wide-eyed, I must admit, but never mind. He's been on the drugs, that's the problem. In fairness, he is a mythical dragon, so I don't necessarily think it's overly outrageous. I'm not sure what is you're asking me to do. Just spray a bit of green. Oh no, I think I do see. Maybe. Yeah, I think what you're suggesting. Yeah, I do see what you're suggesting now. There was a way of increasing the size of the paintbrush. What was the short? Shift and mouse scroll. Okay, that might be a bit extreme. 150. Probably acceptable enough. Are we after the sort of... no, I think we want to stop it before we get to that piece. Go there, get in the cracks, get in the cracks. That's what you need to do. You need to get in the cracks. At any point in time, you gotta get in the cracks. Get in the cracks to see what you gotta do. How did I do this one? Oh yeah, it's sort of... yeah, so I'll basically follow that. I don't think that's quite right, but sometimes a good enough is in fact good enough. Just give that a bit of a buffer for the transition between the two pieces. Don't know whether it will help or not, but you never know. You never know your luck. It might be good, it might be shitty. It might simply be something indifferent between shit and good. That's where I live my life, between shitty and good. Although I do tend to verge on the shitty side of things. Try to cover all the marks. Yeah, I think you'll find that's what it wanted me to do. Oh yeah, now it wants me to do the edges. Let's go back up to my 150. Well, it's a 151, but I guess what's one between friends? Let's now just finish off his beard with the fancy yellow colouring. See, we want to try and get sort of a nice transition, but we also don't really want to do what I keep doing, which is push it onto the rear bit of the dragon behind. There go. I can't deny it. In real life, what I'd probably do is like cling film or sort of masking tape or something along those lines. But just cling film it off, just mask it off in some fashion, so that you were physically prevented from spraying onto the base coat of that one. Never mind. Yeah, it's tolerable enough, isn't it? Just want to try and do something similar on the other side. That's right, the other side. It all needs to be done. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. When I did a real airbrush, you'd probably want to use fairly sort of low sort of sprays. You'd want to just go sprit. You'd want to go sort of like, potentially anyway, I don't know, rather than sort of a hold down method. But having never used an airbrush in real life, I can't say that with any real certainty. And if we do the underside again, slightly roughly, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect because it's the underside, you're not going to look at it as often. Back of the beard tips. I'm not going to go and miss to just finish those off. Also the front, maybe. I know we've mostly done the front there. Yeah, it'll do. One side's slightly better than the other. Oh, I see. Oh, wait, it's again. I'm forever missing the ears. The ears of the monster. Yeah, I think that's where. Yeah, that's where my piece is missing. I wanted me to do sort of the ears of, it's because it blends quite well into the sort of beard area. It's kind of confusing and makes me go, I don't know. I just see the beard and I don't see the ears. Away we go. That dry brush again, yeah it is. So that dry brush wants to be on both beard, probably inside his ear as well. Oh no, actually, the one place it didn't want to go. Oh well. It's inside the ear now. Focus on one area at a time. Technically, this is the same colour for the body of the dragon, but figure. Focus on one area at a time. That way you can get one done. Move on to the next one. That allows you to know. Oh, see, we can increase the brush size again, which I realise is probably not the be-all solution that I make it to be, which is if in doubt, increase the brush size. Increase the brush size. Arguably, a lot of the time you almost fall into the trap of doing the opposite for miniature painting. But also do a bit of dry brushing on its ears. Don't know whether it necessarily wants it on the face, but do you know what? It's getting some dry brushing on the face. So bring out all those details. So even if the game doesn't think it wants it, it wants it. Just got to be careful not to screw it up too badly, which is a very easy thing to do. Do a little bit of dry brushing all the way underneath. Yes, tick it. And now we want to do that bit. We want to do this bit, we want to do that bit, we want to get the green dry brushed in. Get him on top, get him on the sides. Yeah, ready to go for that dry brush. That's nice. I like it. Right. We want a horn. Get myself a horn. Now I'm sort of assuming it's the other horn. No, it's not quite the other horn yet. Try and get it the same orientation. And then hopefully we can airbrush the tips. Airbrush the tips. This is what you like to see. You like to see someone airbrushing tips. Do you have any airbrushing tips? It's not going to help me if you do have airbrushing tips, because the digital airbrush, so I don't know if the real world techniques do translate directly. It's plausible. Oh, apparently I think my airbrush has run out. It's run out of air. It went very quiet for a moment there. I don't know why. Just a glitch, I suppose. It did sound alarmingly like the airbrush had run out, which I'm assuming does happen. But then that suggests there's something wrong with your compressor, I suppose. Now, I know some people sort of take them all apart and fix their own compressors, but I have no idea where to begin with that sort of thing. Unfortunately, I'm very much one of those people who uses technology but has no idea how to piece it together. So I'm always slightly jealous of people who build their own PCs. Because the closest I've come is replacing a graphics card, which is not a hugely difficult task. And even then I made it sort of seem like it was a much more troublesome thing than it actually was. It's mostly plug and play, but I did a lot of research into doing it. Although I suppose there is an argument to be had that because I did a lot of research into it, that's probably why it was a little bit more plug and play. Because I didn't have to think about what connector went where, because I'd already researched and understood where every single connector could possibly go. I say every single one, there's only really one, I think. Although no, I suppose it slots into the motherboard, and then there is a cable somewhere on the line as well, I think. I mean, at this point I'm really just faffing, but just trying to make it look as good as possible, really. I think that's the second one, yeah. Which I'm assuming we're probably going to want to just give that pretty much exactly the same treatment, am I correct? I'm very much correct. See, this is the one problem with miniature painting, of course. Sometimes things come in pairs, and you have to give it the same treatment twice over. There's that. I suppose with tyres is a good example. I remember when I was doing Marvel Crisis Protocol cars, I had to do all 4 tyres, and that was sort of like, I've done one tyre, now I have to do all the rest of them. Although having said that, it is that age-old sort of batch painting process where you sort of paint the silvers of the hubcaps, then paint the blacks. Actually, I think it was probably the other way round, truth be told. But I can't remember precisely how I did it. But I do remember I did add a little bit of brown. We've done a lot of dry brushing here, and I did some brown dry brushing in the tyres, just to sort of provide this idea that it had sort of gone through some mud at one point. I also added a little bit of brown dry brushing to the wheel arches, just to emphasise the idea of, hey, yes, this is a car that is sort of working, has been driven for a while. And I think it added a nice little effect. It's the only problem when you have to rotate the object, and I think this is one of those ones where it's probably easier in real life, but although it is still a problem, I think, when you're sort of rotating an item, matching how far you've gone down a segment evenly all the way down is quite difficult, as I'm making quite evident. Now luckily it doesn't necessarily have to be even, because the whole point is this is sort of a natural transition, I think, Or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. Which means a precise gradient is not hugely necessary. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Ba, 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 ba. Almost there. Oh, I've just spotted another bit that needed doing. Have I done any of that one? Most of it, just a couple of bits. Couple of extra. It goes with the spray. Yeah, that's good enough. Right, so technically we're after sort of the construction table. Oh, there we go. And slop-a-dubs. And slop-a-dubs the second. Marvelosa. And now we want to bring forth the big dragon statue. I was slightly concerned that it hadn't fully painted, but it has. Excellent. And now I'm assuming we wish to do the big moustache. It's his big moustache. It's a lovely shade of red. And now we sort of just want to do the tips. How was... no, that's not the one. Was it that? No. Was it that? Was it that? Was it that? Apparently... Oh, it was just the keys, wasn't it? I'd forgotten how to get the thing to work. So just the tips. This sort of majestic, fiery colour. I wonder if they're asking me to dry brush the rest of it in the yellow as well. I got a feeling that might be the next step. It's a very relaxing game. If you're ever stressed and you need a really good, relaxing game to play, I'd recommend this one. I would have recommended Satisfactory until we got attacked by several things. Satisfactory, there is a slight element of survival game in there. It's mostly about building the factory and getting it, you know, the very best organised factory you can get. But because you're on a sort of alien planet, there is just that little touch of, okay, you are actually having to survive this. Oh no, it's attaching. Oops. We'll stick that there because I think it'll be easy to drag on the moustache. I suppose technically I could always add my own flair by dry brushing the moustache, but it didn't ask for it, so also, I don't think I can take it off now, so never mind. There it is. Our lovely dragon from multiple different angles. Oh dear, again, like, you've got such a different shade there. Makes that split so obvious. That's not too bad actually, that one. A little bit off there, but some of the transitions are a little bit awkward. But again, I suppose technically, yeah, there is that dry brush. Again, like, if I wanted to dry brush this moustache, yeah, it wouldn't necessarily help me, but you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to add my own little flair by dry brushing that moustache. Because it goes a bit more with the way we did the whiskers. Perfect. And we all go out in the end. Yeah, see, you all didn't look too bad, did it? No. Nice job. Finished project, I suppose. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could, as I say, I could always try and do a little bit more fiddling, but at the end of the day, it's classified as That's just 6 more balls. Yeah, I suppose it is a dragon with a little ball, isn't it? I don't know if we are going to get 6 more balls. That would be quite fascinating if we do. Place the ornamental dragon in the trophy case. I suppose it's got to be in the middle, isn't it? Or not? Okay. Now, is this me being impatient, or is the dragon somewhere? Ah, the dragon is meant to go elsewhere. Hence why it was. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. Do I want to see mostly ball or aerosol? Neither. I want it for my armpits. I think we can split the difference between face and ball. Do we want to split the difference face and ball that way? I think so, because I think that was the better way. Because, yeah, like that, you're going to get too much body in the way of the face. So I think it's got to be just a touch of ball. Just a touch. Just a hint of ball. That's all you really need. Just a hint of ball. Let's read my new email. Hello, Joy. Oh, it's not the same sort of buttons as Satisfactory, which always makes life a little awkward. Meeting Joy. Oh, yeah, it's great to finally talk to you. Stan shared some stories about you. It's no wonder he wanted you to have the model. He built a few notable dragon props in his career, but I think that's the first one he ever made. Oh, and it has his note attached. He used to use it. He used to add unique notes. Oh, I think I've read that one. Oh, well, never mind. Hope you're enjoying your time in the workshop. It's so well equipped. I'm always jealous. Well, a little bit. I bet you can feel Stan's presence there. I hope you make good use of it. What, the workshop is presence? And how's it going with the model I sent you? Did you read the note? Yes. Meh. It doesn't look all that great. No, I've read it and it looks good. It looks wonderful. I knew you could do it. Your grandpa had the guts to take on the challenge himself instead of giving it to a professional sculptor. Anyway, I was thinking about that note. I've always considered Stan's work to be unique, but now I'm reading more about how he put his emotions and talent into his work. There will never be a master modeller like Stan again. I think we should look for some of his other models, try to collect the most significant pieces he worked on. I might even have an idea of where to find the next one. How about I help you find them? It'll be like a treasure hunt. Fun, huh? I'll contact you as soon as I learn something. Collect my reward. Ooh! I've earned a new experience level and unlocked new items in the shop. Nice. Excellent. So, an ASAP job. Dear modeller, I happen to be in the need of your services. If you currently have free time, and even if not, I'm sure we can arrange something that could convince you to squeeze this little job in. Want to get to the premiere of the latest blockbuster and meet some celebrity or get a ticket to the front row of a game? You've got it. But here's the thing. Well, you see, it's my business partner's birthday, and I, unlike him, have a lousy memory. I forgot. So as quick as you can, using tools to speed up the process, I need an assembled and painted submarine. Doesn't need to be fancy, just simple colours and some decals for detail. I tried to do that myself. Well, my PA tried, but I barely managed to glue the bigger parts together and didn't even start the paint job. Oh, you're curious. Why a submarine? It's a metaphor, since Michael is a bit of a secretive person. Do it ASAP. I wasn't kidding about the introduction to a celebrity. Alright, okay. I'll owe you a favour. $20 to $100. Now, do I actually have a time limit? Or is this one of those sort of fictional time limits? Let's go. Job for a lawyer. A submarine. I think we actually did the submarine in the demo as well, so I'd forgotten that bit. I tell you what, the demo went quite far, didn't it? I'd forgotten how... Yeah, we definitely did do the submarine. Oh well, that's fine. I guess we're not quite into new territory just yet, but never mind. Submarine I don't think will take too long. More so because, in fairness, if it does take too long, obviously I'd fail the commission. So we just sort of slap these pieces on, slap them all together and see what we can accomplish. We kinda need the undercarriage, slap it on the backside, oh yeah. We want to get this little gun turret, pop this little gun turret on there. I think that is that gun turret completed, so I think this is a separate gun turret. We'll find its friend, that's the one. find its little front shield, oh yes. It's weird how, like, because that shielding is entirely functional. It's to protect the person using the gun. But it just makes it look so cool as well. It's always nice when sort of function actually manages to sort of look awesome as well. Glue it on, slap it on the back, and now, yeah, I was going to say, I'm guessing those two pieces go together, because there are no other pieces. Nice. Alright, alrighty-dirty, oh yeah. So use base coat. Oh, interesting, okay. Use this tool to apply a base coat colour scheme to the entire model. Interesting, okay. It's my multicoloured. Is that the right? Oh yeah, I suppose arguably there's no real other choice. That is just base coated entirely. God, can you imagine having that in real life? Just an instant sort of like, yep, that's what we want. Just straight up base coat everywhere. I think this is a slightly different colour than the one in the demo. The essential paint tool with a variety of sizes. Here we go. This is where we start getting the real. This is now the real deal. It's time for actual brushing. I feel like getting the right sort of size will be fairly key. But getting a straight line to match up with that is going to be awkward. I suppose arguably I'm supposed to have missed out on that anchor thing. I wonder, is that anchor thing ever addressed again? No, probably not. Oh well. That anchor's now blue. Never mind. You'll enjoy that blue anchor. Oh dear. I've gone too far. I've gone too low. I've gone too low. Is that a way of matching the paint? So I think it's the blue-grey. Oh no, that's not blue-grey. Awesome. Silver-grey? No. You know what you can do, if in doubt? Just slap on the base coat again. That'll do. That'll do nicely. I suppose we could use a smaller brush. I feel like the smaller brush requires me to have more dexterity on my mouse hand, which I just don't have. And I also don't have much patience either, so the more paint I can slap on in a single go is better for me. But I suppose this time what we'll try and do, ideally, yeah, I suppose technically I should do the top of this as well. But that's definitely going to be too much. So we best slim down the brush. Sort that out. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's very, very sloppy indeed. This is why I should never be doing a paintbrush. Oh, I just realised. Is there an actual undo button? No, there's not. Much like in real life, there is not an undo button. Oh dear. I mean, having dropped it down the side a little bit doesn't make much difference, but I mean, this is about as high a quality as my real painting, because my hands do not work, which is, I'm not gonna lie, awkward. I also don't know if it matters about sort of clipping past that anchor or not, but we'll go with the argument that it probably does, and therefore we'll try and go over the anchor anyway. I was legitimately trying not to, and I just did anyway. It's like you're not even trying. That's why I don't try. Whoops. Big bollocks. Have you got a substantial pair of big bollocks? No, sir. It's got little bollocks. I feel like the client's not going to be very happy with this paint job. See, again though, what I'd do in real life is I'd take that down and then slather the paint over, and then it wouldn't matter quite how inaccurate I was, which is beneficial. So it is fascinating sometimes quite how sort of like some of the tools you get access to are vastly better than tools you would have in real life, and other ones are lacking, which is unfortunate. One moment. Back to my modelling. Oh dear, look at that. Look at the state of that. The state of the anchor, I think it was better last time. Oh dear. I've just made it slightly worse again because I'm slapping more paint on it. If in doubt, slap more paint on it. Is it actually going to be? Oh shit, I think that is actually the right paint. That's make life a little bit easier. I can actually try, as you would in real life. I'm not going to lie, might make it worse, but which is, in fairness, is the norm in real life as well. You try to make it better and just keep fucking it up a little bit more, because now of course I'm going to put a load of brown on my blues, but you know, I'm trying my best. I think before we fuck it up too much more, that's going to suffice. Okay, so what's this? Paintbrush to apply air superiority blue and the corresponding air. Oh yeah, no, wait. Oh, I see. Right, no, they just want you to do it the other side, and I've done the other side, and it's fine. I was very confused. So the front of the boat is that way, so we're looking at putting a little thingamybib here. Does it look right to you? I think it's okay-ish. It's the swordfish. Oh yes. Now we want to put, ideally not at that dodgy angle. So how was it we did? No. There we go. Okay, that's the one. So that shark is probably at a dodgy angle, but I must admit, the shark I quite like at a dodgy angle because it's meant to be sort of a slightly odd little kind of, ooh, it's a quirky little shark on the side of my submarine. Whereas of course, with a kind of identifying plaque type thing, you don't really want that sort of thing, I would put forth. Likewise here, I suppose, with this identifying plaque, which I think, I mean, it's quite difficult to say for certain. I think you're basically looking at about there, upon what I believe is the conning tower, they call it. Don't know why, it's not like it actually sort of cons anybody, but I'm assuming there is probably a extension to the word con that makes sense in that context. Oh, I put it underwater. Nicely perfect. I mean, you've got a generous definition of the word perfect, but I'll take it. keep using the E key instead of the mouse button. It makes life awkward. Right, collect that. And then let's at least investigate this one, but probably put it away in a moment. I'm a filmmaker from Hollywood, and I'm going to make the greatest post-apocalyptic steampunk movie ever. But to achieve that, I need your help. The key moment of the movie is about a steampunk war crawler with the main character in it, having to sustain heavy enemy fire in a long shot. What I would like to propose is a little contest. Whoever makes the best steampunk post-apocalyptic vehicle will be chosen to assist me making props for the film. Isn't that great? Well, clock's ticking. Daniel Ever. Hollywood will hear about me. Holy shit. I need a shop app. And what do I need? Upgrades, apparently. Buy the Sprue Cutters upgrade. Okay. And what? I see. Just click on the part and all joints are automatically clicked out. Again, this is very much like something that would be quite nice to have. Oh, look at that. Effects paint. Wow. Don't know what that is, but hey, maybe eventually we'll take it. A solvent. Interesting. What do I mean, I apparently own a solvent. I haven't actually had to use a solvent yet. Paints. Glowing jam. Is that an actual glow in the dark paint? Yeah. That's the sort of paint I like. I can't help myself. I just like day glow paints that are obnoxious beyond belief. Okay, so the submarine. I suppose arguably because the submarine's not mine, it was a commission piece. It probably went off to somewhere else, which is almost a shame. Right, so I think again this is another one where yes we have already built that one. So I'll tell you what, we will just leave it there and yeah, probably call it today. Save game. I'm assuming probably that one is the best bet. There we go. Oh yeah. And so maybe next time we'll do that building, and hopefully once we're past that one, hopefully I won't recognise any more of the buildings, and we'll be on to sort of brand new stuff, which will be optimal. I will be back tomorrow night. I think once again it's not going to be worthwhile doing a raid, so feel free to find some other Twitch stream for your viewing pleasure. I can give you some suggestions, but I'm not going to bother doing a raid on this occasion. Mage Masher 22 is online. No Sphere Grid for Final Fantasy X. It sounds like a sort of a very bizarre and amazing way of playing that game. Just incredibly difficult. Gimli O'Green, spelt as you would probably expect, but maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. Just have to guess. And Reaper Miniatures. There you go. A few options. But I will say cheerio.